is a presentation of the iRacing Esports Network.
Good evening, welcome to the iRacing Esports Network, welcome to Interlagos and welcome to the BSR MX5 Autumn Series. My name is Chaz Draycott, alongside me tonight is Tom Jacobs and we've got Alex Simpson on cameras tonight. A little bit late to the stream, just having a few technical difficulties, but we've managed to get there. Just flying onto the grid now, Tom. It's going to be frantic night of racing and yeah, let's call the shots on lap one.
Yeah, it's going to be a brilliant night of racing, isn't it? Absolutely fantastic. It's going to be, yeah, a good night, I think. The Momo guy is going really well at the moment as we just go into turn one. Jack McIntyre is taking us through there at the moment, and everyone looks too clean. We've got one guy off at the back, not sure who that was at the moment. But yeah, what's your thoughts for this race, Chaz?
Well, we've seen a lot of slipstreaming throughout the season with the MX5, and it's a very, very strong slipstream indeed. It's currently Ryan Walker second in the race as it stands. Steve Heffer down the inside though into turn three. He's got Adam McNally, his teammate, in there as well. So it's two Momo cars and two Youth Energy cars. Ryan Walker actually put it second on the grid as well. I'm sure he'll have been happy with that, and he wants to keep the car near the front of the field. But Jack McIntyre running with it at the moment. They've got another Youth Energy car behind them in fifth with Brian Holmes. Oh, further down the order, Luke Cooper's going slowly. They're three wide, nearly in the middle. That was some of the result clothing cars there. But Steve Hefford and Ryan Walker battling for second and third as it stands, although Hefford's now down to fourth actually. He's been taken by McNally as well. Walker back up to second place. And Brian Holmes is trying to get on this as well as, oh, there's nearly contact with Holmes and, Hefford and McNally. The big gaggle of cars behind them as well, Tom.
Yeah, it's been exciting racing so far, hasn't it? So all the guys doing quite well. As you see, the number 58 of Brian Holmes trying to go around the outside there, but doesn't seem to be quite close enough on this lap. So yeah, it's, the guys are starting to space themselves out a little bit now, but we're starting to see a few fierce battles coming in. But Jack McIntyre isn't getting away too well at the moment from Ryan Walker. Ryan Walker's sticking with him, sticking with the number 37 Momo car. So hopefully we should see some great battles in this race, Chaz.
Yeah, indeed we will. Like I said before, the slipstream's going to be a great equaliser here. Ryan's going to get a really nice long tow down the straight. We saw at Watkins Glen that it was about 1.9 seconds even that you could get a slipstream from, and I'm sure if they're within distance down here, then they'll get that done. Jack McIntyre does the fastest lap so far, of course, with the cleanest run throughout the whole lap of 156.4. Not quite the sort of lap times we were seeing from the Formula 1 on the weekend. Some of the guys down into the 1-minute 11s, which is just an unbelievably quick lap time. I mean, me and Tom were both watching it together, and we were just in absolute awe of the pace they were carrying. So it's going to be interesting to see how the MX5 suits it tonight around here.
Yeah, we know that it's not the highest power car we have on the iRacing service. We just see Brian Holmes having another little look there on the number 72 of Steve Hefford. Steve Hefford still defending well, which has brought the other car of Adam McNally, the Youth Energy car, into play as well. And there, those two are too wide now going up the hill. I think Brian Holmes has managed to make it stick, so yeah, he maintains his place. But as I was saying, I think it could bring some exciting racing here, though. It's quite narrow, which a lot of the F1 guys were saying at the weekend, so it is a difficult track. It's an old school one, and one of my favourites, as I know it is yours as well, Chaz.
Yeah, it's always quite a demanding track. It's a proper driver's track. There's a lot of areas where you can't really rely on the car to get it done. You have to really pitch it in at the right moment. These two sort of hairpins on the infield, especially, you have to make sure you get a really nice entry into the corner. Don't lock up the front right tyre on either of them, because it'll just send you out wide. You'll miss the apex, and then you'll get a really poor run off the corner. And this corner they're going through now, the second to last, is just so important to carry the momentum. With the MX5 being a bit of a slower car, of course, it is easy for them to get it turned in, as we see Holmes now latched onto the back of Steve Hefford. Here we go on board as well, down the straight. Great view here. Steve covering the inside slightly, defending where he needs to. Brian's just edging closer and closer, further along the side of him. You can see that Walker ahead is providing a bit of slipstream for Hefford as well, probably not voluntarily. But once again, we see a great battle between the Momo team and the Youth Energy as Hefford down the inside maintains the place. And onto the back of this train also is actually coming the number 4 car of Jamie Ayres as Walker runs a bit wide out of turn 1. But McIntyre, like you said before, Tom, he's not really getting away here. It has kept slightly bunched up anyway.
Yeah, it's still anyone's to play for, isn't it? As we see Ryan Walker tries to take the inside line to defend from Steve Hefford. Steve Hefford alongside slightly. Who's going to get on the break? Steve Hefford tries to go around the outside, but no. So Ryan Walker's still making that move stick, and that's brought Brian Holmes into play. Brian Holmes is up the inside in the number 58 car. Steve Hefford having to defend, and that's brought Adam McNally into play as well. So as they come up the hill again, over the crest there, bit of a difficult part of the section this, but no changes of places as of yet. But we've got a fantastic train going on here at the moment, chaps.
Yeah, it's so characteristic of this series as well, and especially on a track where slipstream is important. We're going to see this all night, I think, especially when we get to the later run races. We of course have 3 reverse grid wheels tonight for you, where it gets decided by a rather large nostalgic spinning wheel that I'm sure Alex will be looking forward to spinning for us a couple of times. Some of the grid will get reversed, or in some cases all of it, and then we'll get the absolute pleasure of watching some of these quicker guys make their way back through the pack, especially on a track a track like Interlagos. It's going to be fun to watch. McNally got a bit of a poor exit there behind these guys. Now he's got Jamie Ayres tucked right up behind him, and in there as well is also Nathan Davis in 7th place. He's the first car that's not Momo or Youth Energy, which just shows the domination these guys have on the championship. You can see Ayres there side by side with McNally, and for the lead as well, Ryan Walker's side by side with McIntyre. He's on the outside with Hefford behind. We saw a fantastic display of car control from Jack McIntyre at Donington last week. If you've not seen the video of him drifting the entire lap after race 1, you need to go back and have a look. There's Steve Hefford there on the grass out of turn 1, around the outside, opportunistic. Here's Brian Holmes. He's got a really nice run, but Steve's surely going to get the slipstream and try and get it back. So it's a constant sort of position changing and battling going on. And like I say, Tom, I reckon we'll see this all night, don't you?
Yeah, I think we will. We know how feisty these guys are. We speak to a lot of them outside of these racing a few series with a lot of the guys from the BSR. So yeah, I think it's going to be an all-round brilliant night of racing. But just to give a little shout out to Jamie Ayres, he's moving up the field and seems to have a really good pace at the moment. He's that time with a 1:49.37, which is right up there with the front-running guys at the moment. You just see couple looking a little bit back. Josh Thompson, and there's an accident there. That's multiple cars out, so Josh Thompson falls down the grid. Not sure who else was involved, an absolute plethora of cars there, but not sure what happened there, Chaz. I think there was just a little bit too much feistiness there.
Yeah, I think Mikel Garcia got into the back of, well, I couldn't tell who it was he got into the back of, but then the spinning car then took Anthony Mott with them in the number 46. And it was just a bit of a sort of a chain reaction. But speaking of a chain, though, look at this lot at the front. We've got the top 9 cars, I think it is, completely together. This is going to be McIntyre, Walker, Holmes, McNally, Hefford, Ayres, Davis, and McFadden, and Jack Ashton, I think, is on the back of that train as well. And well, the slipstream once again comes into the to be the topic of conversation. They're just not going to spread out if it stays like this, and that's all the better for us and everyone watching on the iRacing Esports Network tonight.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? You think they'd have DRS or something going down the back straight here. As we just see Ryan Walker edges out, and it looks like he might have got that move done there on Jack McIntyre. So we've got someone round. That is McNally. He is round at the moment in the number 78 car. Looked to be just a little bit too hot on the brakes from what I could see. And that's all she wrote, and round he went. So unfortunate for him as he falls down the grid. We look back at the replay now. So McNally coming into the corner late on the break, and there was contact there. There was contact there from
Hefford, wasn't it?
That was Hefford, yeah. So Hefford just slightly tapped him on the brakes, and round he went. So unfortunate for him there.
And well, it's created this massive battle now. Then you've got Jack Ashton, Jamie Ayres, number 88, and Nathan Davis is in there as well. Hefford's still in the battle, but joining in is Craig Williams. You've got Jason Cooper, and behind them as well is Alex Cherney. And it's good to see Alex back up there as well. He's racing. Oh no, that's Jason Cooper around. Well, that soon took him out of the battle. I was just going to say he was making his way up, but he's curtailed that. And oh, more contact. Hefford, Ashton, Davis, they're all making contact. Jack Ashton is the one that loses out. I'm sure Hefford will be kicking himself. That's twice there's someone's turning around the front of his car, but this is still the battle for the lead then. McIntyre leading it from Walker and his teammate Brian Holmes. Brian recently joined in Thrust Vector to race for me and Tom, which we're very grateful for. Looking forward to working with him, but he's with Youth Energy for the BSR MX5s, and he's certainly been a powerful force throughout the entire season, and he's showing that once again tonight. But these guys have broken away now from the likes of, well, it's Stuart McFadden in 4th place, who's done a brilliant job of getting to the front of that following pack, Tom.
Yeah, he has, hasn't he? He's moved through up 8 places from his starting position of 12th. So good on you, Stu. You're having a good run so far. Keep the consistency up, and I'm sure you'll maintain that place. We know how quick you are. Although Jamie Ayres is behind him, we know how quick Jamie is as well. We focus on our leaders now, and Ryan Walker trying to go up the inside. Trying to go around the outside of Jack McIntyre, and the Momo car doesn't seem to make it stick. Well, these guys are really fighting it tooth and nail, aren't they? Let's just hope we don't have a knock on this evening.
Yeah, definitely. We know that's been the hot topic of controversy in the motorsport world, as Walker getting a really good slipstream now down the inside of McIntyre. In the background, though, Ayres did actually get past McFadden in turn 1. McFadden's trying to return the favour. Walker's trying to do the same to McIntyre. He's washing out wide. That's going to give Holmes the run, surely, but he sort of gets in the way of his teammate a little bit there. Maybe a bit of a miscommunication, but they're going to stick with McIntyre. That's the main thing. He's not getting away massively. McFadden and Ayres having a right ding-dong behind them as well, and then Davis and Williams further behind that. Really good battles going on all the way through, and once again, Tom, I mean, I'm not sure how much of the series you've seen before, but oh, that's Davis is off in the background, sorry. He's just blended in with the grass once again like he did at Donington. Green car, green surface, and he's around. Not sure how he's managed it, whether he had contact or anything such as the lap before, but I was going to say, Tom, this series tends to have a lot of battles in the top 10 that sort of stick all the cars together, and we're seeing that once again tonight. I mean, these battles are spreading out a bit more, but at the same time, they're not being sort of shy about it.
No, they're not, are they? It is a brilliant car as the MX5, obviously not the most powerful car on the series, but it's so well refined, the car that they've given us to drive. It's like if any of you played flight sims, it's like a low-powered World War II aircraft, and it'll be so refined and lovely to fly that's what the MX5 is, and fortunately for us, it brings us absolutely fantastic racing. As we see Adam Delmont now of the Youth Energy car trying to go up the inside of Nick McCarron in the Momo car, so they are too wide now coming up the straight. And it looks to be that Adam Delmont has actually got the move done. Although as they come towards the T1, which is always going to be difficult on the brakes, they're starting to bunch them up now as this, because everyone's jostling for position. Looks like Adam Delmont's got the move done. He tries to stick it up the inside. There's contact there. He has contact with Nick McCarron, which has pushed him out wide. So Nick McCarron losing out there, and Adam Delmont getting the move done.
Yeah, it looks like Jack Allette's going to have a good run on McCarron as well there and get the move done. As we see change for the lead. That's going to be Ryan Walker down the inside of McIntyre. They're all running off. They're all trying to make the most of all the surface that they can. But at the moment, it's Ryan Walker in the lead. Around the outside goes McIntyre. He's not quite going to get it done. Brian Holmes is going to be sat there laughing, watching this, thinking, well, I'm just going to stay in third for now, see what I can do. You don't want to hit that curb on the inside too hard either, really, because we do always say that it's quite a softly set up car. Jordan Giddings down the inside of Rob Graham there in the number 22 machine, the Auto Metnock Hill car. Number 22 and 23 battling it out. Giddings gets the move done. And they've got Delmont and McCarron and Jack Alette, who we saw not long ago, chasing them down as well. So that's another little train in the midfield. This battle for 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th and 15th. And I believe Dan Hunt's on the back of this as well in 16th. So another good train of cars, and well, a bit of damage to the front of Giddings' car as well. So he's obviously not the cleanest of runs through the field so far.
No, he hasn't, has he? There's quite a few bit of argy-bargy going on out there at the moment. But what would you expect from MX5 racing? We see it in every series. As we see there, that's Jack Ashton getting a little bit feisty. There's a pack of, 6 cars out there at the moment. So on board now with Jack Ashton. He's moved down 6 places from his starting position. So unfortunate for him, but he's putting in decent lap times. 149.42 is his best at the moment. So going well. Obviously we'll go a little bit slower as they get into this pack, but here we go then. So they're near enough going to go 3 wide. Jack Ashton looks out to the left. Can he do 2 in one go? It depends who goes latest on the brakes. We know how dangerous turn 1 can be. As we see there, the number 5 machine of Nick McCarron going out wide, and he's round in the number 98. Jack Ashton makes a big mistake. Looked like he got on the power far too early there, Chaz, and round it went. But that just goes to show it might be a low power car, but they can be quite difficult to drive, these things.
I think he might have had a bit of help from Nathan Davis. I'm not one to point fingers, but yeah, I think he might have just got the slightest of touches. And then Jack Alette did well not to properly clobber him. He gave him a bit of a tap, but yeah, it wasn't too much to completely right the thing off. It's 3 wide into turn 1. Just behind us there, that was Scott Malcolm going in, and then there's the Result Clothing cars are having a good battle with Luke Cooper. We just look back, here we go then. So they're side by side. There's a little bit of a knock with Dan Hunt, and then Davis is down the inside, and looks like he might have just lifted the rear slightly. McCarron got a bit of contact too, but yeah, it might have been about 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. It was very close racing. As we look back at the front then, Holmes is now second behind McIntyre with Walker in third. We've got to think that Brian's got the pace to try and unsettle McIntyre, but Jack is a multiple champion in this series. He's won the mini championships that they do. For anyone that's new to it, this series tends to consist of 4 small championships. They've got the spring, summer, autumn and winter series, and then that all contributes to one big series over the whole year. Just splits it up nicely so they can just sort of battle it out for the smaller championships, I suppose. And when we do have the overlay on the screen, we do have the Pro and Am categories, which are designated by blue and green cars. I'll obviously remind you of that later on in the evening when they pop up. It's the bit of contact there between Holmes and McIntyre. It looked like Holmes went to turn in, and McIntyre got a bit sort of straight lined on the brakes almost there, Tom. It was a bit of a strange manoeuvre, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think he broke too late. Pressure's starting to show now for these guys up the front. He broke too late as Brian Holmes gets a fantastic run out of T3, so we'll see what he can do. He looks to the inside. You know, he's got his teammate behind him so they can use the teamwork. Has a little look up the inside. Who's going to go latest on the brake? Brian Holmes sticks it in. Little bit of curb, then forces McIntyre out wide, doesn't he? And gets the move done. But McIntyre is not giving up. On board with McIntyre now. And Brian Holmes is going to be having to think, what am I going to do here? McIntyre has a little look up the inside, and that's ideally where you want to be, going up the hill. And he takes first position back. So fierce battles at the front, Chaz. I hope you guys are enjoying it at home.
Yeah, this is great door handle to door handle stuff, but this is the nature of it. Oh, they're so close to making contact through there. Really not sure how they're not ended up spinning each at the rear, but this is the beauty of the racing that you can get on iRacing. It's so much closer compared to pretty much every sim that you can go on. Really fierce competition. McIntyre all over the place out of the second hairpin then. And I believe that means this is going to be the final lap of the race as well, because we've done 18 minutes so far since they got onto the grid. And that last corner, McIntyre's wide, he's going to go on the grass, and that's going to give it to Holmes, surely, and then Walker's going to try and get through as well. It's not going to be enough, is it?
No, it's not going to be enough. So will the 2 Youth Energy boys get it? Ryan Walker is ahead at the moment. This reminds me of that famous Indy Lights race. So Brian Holmes now out in front. He's got his teammate behind him with Ryan Walker, but the slipstream's coming into play now as they come towards the line. But look at Jack McIntyre. He's got a fantastic run, and Brian Holmes seems to just take it there at the end. My God, what a fantastic finish to that race that was there, Jazz.
Absolutely unreal stuff. 64 thousandths between the three of them, and Jack McIntyre once again busting out the drifting manoeuvres as the 2 result clothing cars are Kyle Hardy and Craig Jones just ahead of him, crossing the line there in 20th and 21st places there. Really good battle in the midfield. Number 17 coming across the line there of Alan McCain, sorry, with Joe McDonald, Max Wright, Peter Van Gool with him as well. Adam McNally there recovering as well. Real shame for Adam, but he'll be hoping for a large reverse grid to get near the front of the grid for race 2, and then possibly 3 and 4 as well. You never know how your night can go in this series. It can start off well and finish badly, but there's Jack McIntyre then. I think he was just giving it a big drift around the crest there as well. He knows we were a big fan of that last week. There's your race winner then, Brian Holmes, doing the completely necessary burnouts, of course. I'm sure he'll be very, very happy to see that. Ryan Walker will be very, very chuffed with second place, especially starting there as well. Really good drive by Ryan. It was very controlled, and he kept his head in the battle as well, which was the all-important thing to do. And as your first race to see from this series, Tom, what did you think?
Brilliant, wasn't it? Absolutely fantastic, and it's what we've come to expect from these guys. As I said before, we know a lot of them on a personal level, but that ending there, that just reminded me of that one famous Indy Lights race, as I said, where it all went down to the wire. And I honestly thought at one point that McIntyre was going to come back at it in the number 37 Momo car and come and take the win just on the slipstream alone. But yeah, brilliant racing from those guys, especially in congratulations to Brian Holmes, a well-deserved victory there.
Cracking stuff. And we've got 3 more of them to come tonight for you, so we hope you are enjoying it on the iRacing Esports Network. And I believe that any second we should have the sultry tones of Mr. Alex Simpson with us, who will be providing us with the reverse grid wheel for race 2 of the evening.
Yeah, good evening all. Be here as always. Technical issues aside, of course. But yeah, let's get straight to it. Obviously, we haven't got the results to bring up on screen, so I'll give you the spin and show you who's going to be on that pole. Pretty decent spin. 20th 4-1 coming back into play. Oh, and it's easily going to be that as well. 4-1 it is.
Well, there's one driver here that's got very, very unlucky there. The always rapid Stelian Chepelevsky was the last car eligible for the reverse grid. And he's missed out on that by 1 then, which means that Anthony Ainsworth is going to take what I believe is his first pole position in the series, with Mikel Garcia, Jeroen Ursum, Benjamin Mears and Jack Ashton will be 5th on the grid. And as we said before, Adam McNally is actually going to be 6th. So those boys have benefited from that quite a lot. Should be good to watch, especially with the quicker guys coming back through. And the slipstream is going to be a real joy to watch in this second race of the night. So myself, Tom and Alex will be back with you in about 10-15 minutes time on the iRacing Esports Network. Don't go away.
chair of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMerrick at the line.
Welcome back to the iRacing Esports Network, welcome back to Interlagos, and once again welcome back to the BSR MX5 Autumn Cup. My name is Chaz Draycott, alongside me in the commentary booth tonight is Tom Jacobs. Alex Simpson is on the cameras, doing a fantastic job as always. We had a very exciting race 1, Tom, and race 2 with a bit more sort of overcast conditions is looking to be even better with a reverse grid involved.
Yeah, it's a bit cooler for the guys as well by the looks of it. So should see some faster lap times, a little bit more grip out there for them. So hopefully we should get a lot more interesting racing. So your championship standings, Jack McIntyre leads the championship at the moment. And the pros with 2,872 points. Behind him, Stylian Chepalevsky, Nick McCarron in third, Steve Hefford in fourth, Kip Cooper fifth, Jason Cooper in sixth, with Jamie Evans behind him in seventh, Brian Holmes in eighth, with your race 1 winner there. Luke Cooper in ninth, Pete Van Gool in 10th, Adam McNally 11th. And over to your AM Championship standing, Scott Malcolm leads, behind him Benjamin Moose, Rob Graham in third, Carl Hardy fourth, Craig Jones in fifth, and in sixth we have David Ayres. 7th is Carl Jacquelet, 8th is Joe McDonald, and 9th Nick Barry, and rounding out the top 10 is Anthony Mott.
Smashing stuff, and as we said in race 1, the pro cars, of course, will be designated by a little blue stripe next to their name in the what we call our timing tower, which you will see on the left during the race, and the AM drivers, of course, are done by the green. You can see it at the top of your screen right now. We will, I think, partway through the race, we do tend to have the fastest lap for each category as well, so we can take a nice look at just what the sort of performance difference is between the two classes. You can there see the I rating, if I can get that words out, the I rating of those drivers. I rating, of course, is sort of a slight measure of how quick you are, essentially. Doesn't always apply directly because certain people do different official races where you can gain and lose I rating, and other people, like these guys in the BSR, will do league racing where I rating and safety rating, which you also get on iRacing, does not apply. And I know that Tom and I have done a lot of league racing, so our I ratings don't really show much of a performance, do they?
No, they don't. I don't consider myself to be one of the fastest guys out there, but my I rating certainly does not reflect at where it should be, to be honest. Yeah, we do a lot of league stuff, a lot of stuff with the BSR guys. So yeah, it sometimes doesn't reflect what these guys should be. You can sometimes get guys that are on about 1100 I rating, and then we'll proceed to go and win races all day. So, but yeah, it's a good measure, a sort of varied measure of how quick you are.
Someone giving it absolute stacks into a wall there in the background. I'm not quite sure who that was that went for it, but he did a good job of planting it in the wall. But we're really looking forward to this second race. We saw a lot of good slipstream in the last one, and well, the battles didn't really spread out a massive amount. Slight incident meant that the first 3 guys were a bit slower as Jamie Ayres comes flying across the bottom of your screen there and plows it into the wall. Nice job. But these guys are just getting their last few laps of practice, and it's very important, Tom, for them to do that, because with the ever-changing conditions that we do get, the track changes and sort of the behaviour of the car changes as well between each race that you do. So you've got to be ready for it, haven't you?
Yeah, if you get a hot race, you've gone from a cold race to a hot race. When it goes hot, you'll notice you'll have a lot more oversteer, less grip, less power, and then vice versa when it goes cold. So the warm-up period is a really important thing for these guys, and anyone who doesn't do it on the iRacing service, I strongly recommend you do. The car can behave completely differently.
Over to the grid then. It's AM drivers pretty much near the front. You've got Anthony Ainsworth on pole with Mikel Garcia alongside him on the front row. They're followed by Jerome Ursum and Benjamin Mears in 4th. Jack Ashton and Adam McNally make a Youth Energy row 3 with their teammate Tyler Lugo-Vickery in 7th. Peter Van Gool is the highest placed Momo car in 8th. Max Wright is in 9th with Alan McCain in 10th position. And Joe McDonald and Carl Hardy make up the 6th row on the grid. They're followed by Craig Jones and Luke Cooper, Mikey Key and Scott Malcolm in 16th. Carl Jacquelet is 17th with Nathan Davis 18th. Nick McCarron 19th and Jason Cooper rounds out your top 20. Then you've got Adam Delmont, Rob Graham, Dan Hunt, Jordan Giddings, Steve Hefford, Alex Cherney, Craig Williams and Jamie Ayres in 28th. And then you guys from the front of the field from race 1. 29th is Stuart McFadden, Jack McIntyre's 30th, Ryan Walker 31st, Brian Holmes 32nd. And we're away already, actually. The lights have been and gone. Really bunched up start by the look of it. Everyone's sort of trying to get the slightest bit of room they can find. Looks like it's a good start by Anthony Ainsworth. Mikel Garcia is trying to put it down the inside. But oh, Ainsworth's gone straight on. He's carried way too much speed into turn 1, Tom, and he's undone his hard work straight away.
Yeah, I think the pressure can get to you, especially when you start right at the front of the grid. And when that does happen, mistakes can be easily made. You can see McNally now is trying to put a move on Ursum. He goes up the inside in that Youth Energy car, and he is ahead at the moment by just a nose. He's going to get late on the brakes, and yeah, that move seems to be done there, Chaz. So Jerome Ursum in P2 now, and he's got some quick guys bearing down on him, but you know he can be a quick driver around here, so hopefully he can get a good result.
Yeah, he's got the Youth Energy boys making the most of their grid positions at the moment. They're going to be really happy with that, knowing that some of the quicker guys behind them have to still make their way through the pack. And McNally and Ashton head straight to the front. Quick word on Mikel Garcia as well, actually. He started second on the grid and was down the inside into turn 1 as we've got Nick McCarron flying down the timing screen, unfortunately. Not quite sure what's happened to him there, but Garcia, I think, went off at turn 1 as well. It might have just been off camera, whether he's put it in the wall in turn 2, but as far as I knew, he got past Anthony Ainsworth at turn 1, so he must have just done it all himself. So unfortunately, the 2 guys from the front row undoing what they were given really in terms of the positions. But Ursum's still 3rd, but there's great battle starting behind them. Then you've got Benjamin Mears, Peter Van Gool, Luke Cooper, and on the back of that as well is Alan McCain in the what I believe is a Team Bushfinks racing livery as well.
Yeah, so a nice little bunch of cars here starting to form. A couple of the quicker guys starting to come through. You've got Pete Van Gool. Will be looking to capitalise as well, as he's about to put them 3 wide, I believe. You look at Luke Cooper in the number 6 car. And he's maybe he can even put it 4 wide here, Chaz. It looks like he's going to. So they're 4 wide now, going down the back straight and into turn 1. This could be an interesting one here. They put it back to 3 wide now. So look who's going to come through on top. And Luke Cooper, oh, a brilliant move there. So he came right back. He was what, P7? And he's just come through and taken all 4 of them pretty much in one corner. And he's up 11 places, Chaz, so he's looking racy at the moment.
Yeah, great first lap by Luke Cooper. That beautiful display of opportunistic driving as we look here at Nathan Davis, Jerome Ursum and Tyler Lugo-Vickery. Just saw in the background as well, Alan McCain seems to have an issue. He's dropped down quite a few places. I don't know whether he has had contact as Davis goes ahead of Ursum there. Ursum running quite wide and Lugo-Vickery might be on him there. Oh, Carl Jacquelet spun around in the background there. I thought I saw him slightly sideways and he's facing the wrong way. He's hopefully going to get that out of the way nice and safely. Yes, he does. And Peter Van Gool has got ahead of Luke Cooper in the meantime, Tom.
Yeah, he has, hasn't he? So he's having a really good drive at the moment. Is Pete Van Gool up 5 places from his starting position, and he looks like he's pulling away from that pack, and he's going to go and chase down the leaders. But we know how fast the Youth Energy guys are around here. You can see that from race 1 and how well they've been going. So Your top four at the moment is Adam McNally, Jack Ashton, Pete Van Gault and Luke Cooper, and then your first AM driver is Benjamin Muse for Automech Knock Hill. So, and he's about to be passed, I believe, by Nathan Davis, who doesn't quite get close enough to come out the last corner and take it. But a nice little spread now starting to form, Chaz. Not too many incidents, and but I think this one could end up going down to the wire again, to be honest.
Yeah, the slipstream, like we've been saying, great equaliser here. We're probably going to see that between the first two cars on the field as well. Jack Ashton chasing down his teammate Adam McNally. I just got word from Marco in the chat, by the way, that Tom's voice might be a little bit quiet, Alex, if you can hear me. So
I've done that already.
Oh, there we go. Beautiful stuff. See, absolutely top notch here on the iRacing Esports Network. And we see the two Youth Energy cars. Then they're going to be really happy with this at the moment. They've actually been a very, very good team this season. They've really taken the fight to the likes of Momo, and the Swift Cooper Esports team have come on the scene and done a great job also. And it's nice to see that those teams are consistently at the front. I mean, to be fair, they take out the first 4 places at the moment. Nathan Davis has always been there and thereabout though this season, so it's nice for him to be getting the consistent results also. But this is the beauty of the reverse grid as well. If you do have a bit of a shoddy race 1 or 2, well, even 3 in this scenario, then a lot of the time you can sort of benefit from the reverse grid. You see the positions gain there. Josh Thompson down in 19th has actually gained 20 places. Amazing drive by Josh as always. Me and Tom, and I believe Alex has raced against him as well. And I mean, if you've been on iRacing for a while, you'll know that Josh is a formidable force, always quick, and he's proven that no matter what car it is, he will always do that. As we look at Jones at the moment then, between Lugo Vickery and McDonald. Lugo Vickery a bit wide on the exit there. They've got Steve Hefford trying to come into play as well. The wheels on that car of Craig Jones are really glowing at the moment. Really nice shade of yellow that he's got on there, and he's hoping that that's going to be putting off Tyler Lugo Vickery in front of him. Tyler looking quite composed as it stands, just keeping his ground and doing what he needs to do. I know he's quite frustrated after last week because he got turned around in pretty much all of the races, I think, and he wasn't happy with the results he got. But he's in the top 10 at the moment, Tom, and I'm sure that he'll be hoping to stay there. But with the slipstream here and this many cars behind you, you never know, do you?
No, you don't. Also, he's got Mr. Hefford behind him, and we know how quick Steve Hefford is, and he starts to go round the outside now. Hefford actually went wide out of the last corner there, and has managed to get a decent run. So on board with Steve Hefford in the Momo car, he's looking at Tyler Lugo Vickery as well of Youth Energy, and we know how feisty Youth Energy and Momo have been all season. So he's going to try and go round the outside at the moment, Steve Hefford, and it looks like he's going to make that move stick. A little bit of understeer there, but no, the Youth Energy car does come back at him, and they're still too wide. He takes a lot of curb there, and it looks like yes, Tyler Hugo Vickery is in the wall behind him. I'm not sure what happened, but I'm sure we'll get a replay of that. Unfortunate for him. Yeah, he might have done. He didn't seem to get pushed wide, did he, Chaz? So not sure what happens there. He might have put one wheel on the grass. We get a replay. So Tyler here coming down into the corner, number 72 Momo car beside him, and takes an interesting. I think he just went in too quick there, Chaz, to be honest, and just clipped the wall. And I'm pretty sure because it's iRacing, he might have broke a bit of suspension.
Yeah, maybe so. And he did the right thing though. He did a very safe job of getting it stopped. But as we look near the front, then Peter Van Gault has jumped between these two Youth Energy cars. McNally running wide there as well. These guys are clearly feeling the pressure. They've not got it all that easy. We would have thought that they'd run away with it, but 5 laps to go, not even halfway through the race yet, and well, Jack Ashton obviously wants to get that place back from Peter Van Gault, who had a pretty poor race 1. I think he got involved in an incident towards the beginning of the race. I'm not sure whether it's him or Chepelewski that pulled over. It might have been Stellian, but Peter's trying to make up for it and get a result tonight. Oh, McNally just on the grass. That's really not going to help him there. As we were saying at the top of the broadcast, it's a really important corner to get right because there's so much momentum. That's what this car's all about, is keeping the momentum. And it's easy to bounce it with the soft suspension they've got. You can see Luke Cooper there going for the nearest car available to try and get the slipstream, but that puts Peter Van Gault to the front of the field then, and I think we're going to see what we saw last time. Nearly it's the pit wall then coming down the straight to get the life out of me. But we're going to see another good fight between these guys though, I'm pretty sure, as Ashton already trying to get it back down the inside into turn 1. And let's just hope he doesn't do a knock on. He doesn't, that's alright then. Jack Ashton would have been a bit displeased, but he's back up to the front, Tom.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? So a brilliant fight between these 4 here. It's really brought Luke Cooper into play as well for Swift Cooper Esports. He'll be looking to capitalise at the moment as we see Adam McNally now, after his poor exit of your momentum corner, as you call it, Chaz, having a little look up the inside of the Momo car of Pete Van Gault, and it looks like he's ahead. Van Gault, he's been pushed out wide, but Van Gault fighting back now. That MX5 looking very stable as they come up the hill. They almost touched. There was a cigarette paper in between them there. So Pete Van Gool tries to go around the outside, up the inside, and he does make it stick there, Chaz. So all the cars weaving this way and that way, changing places all the time, but maintaining their positions and defending well.
Yeah, it's nice clean scrapping so far, and that's what we tend to see near the front. The only time you really get an incident is if it's through a very sort of tricky, fast corner, and the car can get away from you a little bit, so when you're trying to do your best and play it safe and try and correctly oversteer, then you can easily put it into someone else as Van Gool gets a bit of a slide on out of there. Just got to note as well that behind these guys, you've also got Jason Cooper, Luke Cooper's teammate, and Nathan Davis and Benjamin Mears closing down on them slightly. Much better line by McNally that time rather than what he did on the previous lap, but looks like Ashton's got a really nice run so far, and it seems that Van Gool's staying out of the slipstream for a second, so not quite sure what his strategy is down here, but maybe it's a bit of mind games, and he's trying to probably negate the amount of cars that he wants to battle with, but you've got to balance that out with the fact that you're going for the race lead here, so you can't give anything away.
No, you can't, can you? So an interesting line from those guys. You see Adam McNally goes really wide, and they're just weaving all over the track. Reminds me of Verstappen at Spa in 2016 on Kimi, just weaving about. As you say, they're all pretty much too wide going through the first two corners, but nothing really changes places at the moment. We've got Adam McNally, who's now got the inside line then on Pete Van Gool in the Momo car. He's got the slipstream from his teammate. So Jack Ashton moves out to help Adam McNally in the slipstream and then darts back in. Can McNally make it a Youth Energy 1-2 lead at the moment? Darts it up the inside, and I think, Chaz, yes, he's got that move done. So Youth Energy lead, plate P1 and P2 here.
That was beautiful teamwork, absolutely beautiful. As soon as Jack saw that Adam was down the inside, he thought, right, you can have the slipstream, let's double the power of that little MX5 you've got there, son, and towed him down the straight, and it worked beautifully. But that's the battle Van Gool's got himself in now. He's obviously 2 against 1 with these guys, and he's got to try his very best. Luke Cooper and his teammate Jason Cooper are going to be watching this and hoping for the best. Well, in their case anyway, of course, they'll be wanting an off or a bit of contact or something to upset the rhythm. But at the moment, Benjamin Mears as well doing a fantastic job. He's actually down 3 places when he started, but he's the highest AM car by 4 positions over Universum, so I'm sure he's going to be happy with that. Craig Jones is the 3rd placed AM car at the moment, 12th overall. Well, he's just gone down to 13th actually. No, never mind, at 14th. He's back up to 13th, so he's all over the place. Oh, it's Delmont that's off. I wonder why the timing screen was changing so much. Adam Delmont off the road. And to end up over there, Tom, surely you've got to be turned by someone. Let's have a look.
Yeah, so I'm not really too sure what happened to him. Look now, replay here of Carl Hardy, is it? And he got spun round, and yeah, oh, that's a doozy, isn't it? I think that was just a little bit too much braking, a little bit too much steering lock. But as we see, go back to the replay of the car number 16 that ended up all the way over into the grass. So still not quite sure what happened to him, Chaz, but here we go then. So he comes up the inside, has a little look up the inside, gets late on the brakes, turns it in, and yeah, he got clipped by the number 43 of Craig Jones in the Result clothing car. So unfortunate for him there, and he ended up quite far out in the infield, didn't he?
He did indeed. Look at this battle for the lead then. Luke Cooper and Jason Cooper suddenly all over it. Now it's not a 2-on-1, it's a 2-on-2-on-1, and then you've got Nathan Davis as well. So I'm not going to repeat myself and say what it is, but it's pretty chaotic as it stands. And still 2 Youth Energy cars near the front though. They're in the top 3 at least, temporarily anyway. Luke Cooper wants to make a change for that. I'm sure Peter Van Gool is going to get involved again as well, nearly making contact with Jason. Look at Nathan Davis around the outside, flinging that bright green machine around there, but it doesn't work for him because these hairpins are that tight. There's not really anything you can gain by going around the outside line, other than maybe a better run if you bring it back in on the apex in time. But it's Luke Cooper down the inside of Jack Ashton then. I think he's probably going to try and put the fight to him as much as he can so Adam McNally can get away. McNally won one of the practice races earlier in the week. You can see at the top then, the difference between lap times. The fastest pro time at the moment, 1:48.3, and that was done by Pete Van Gool. 1:49.5 is the fastest AM lap, and I believe that was Benjamin Mears as well. So both the guys who are in the fastest lap in the race for their respective classes are essentially in this battle. Benjamin Mears a little bit further behind it, but I'm sure with all this going on, he'll be happy to stay there, Tom.
Yeah, he will be, won't we? So now we ride on board in the number 35 car of Jason Cooper. He's been having a sterling race so far. He puts them 3 wide with Pete Van Gaal and Jack Ashton, but he's got the inside line down hard on the brakes, and he's going to have Luke Cooper there as well. He's just going to block him off a little bit. He goes out wide in the number 35, but he makes it stick. And he's up into 3rd place, and he's up 17 places from his start position. So the Swift Cooper Esports guys looking really fast here, Chaz. And now they're going to go and chase down Adam McNally, who's lost Jack Ashton, who's now down in 4th. So he's lost his teammate, and the good bit of help that he had from him.
Yeah, indeed, that can change the battle completely. Now, one of the Youth Energy cars, rather than being them that's a 2-on-1, he's the guy that's going to be the 1 in that scenario. I'm sure he's not going to be too chuffed about that, but this battle's still a little bit spread out. Davis and Van Gaal side by side up the hill behind them, but yeah, as you say, the Swift Cooper Esports team have really come in strong at the moment, and they're just sort of showing that more and more as they go on. They've of course got Kip Stevens in their team as well this season, and Alex Cherney, who doesn't hang about either. Alex is I believe, a previous champion. It was either him or his brother Tobias Cherney that won one of these sort of mini championships. I think it was the Summer Series. And Nathan Davis then getting involved in the scrap with Van Gaal. Mears, like I said before, he's just hanging out there happy in his 7th place overall. He's highest in class, of course, so he's got nothing to... he's got plenty to risk, but no reason to do it. But looking at the front then, it's going to be the 2 Swift Cooper Esports cars right on the back of Adam McNally, and his teammate Jack Ashton is going to want to try and help him, but he's a bit further back. So let's see how the slipstream works out for these guys this time round, as we've got one more lap to go after this one.
Yes, so it's all or nothing now for the Swift Cooper Esports guys. We look back a little bit, Nathan Davis and the little green P. He's going to try and take on Pete Van Gaal in the Momo car, but we're going to fight for the lead. So Luke Cooper takes to the outside line. Looks like he's got a little bit ahead of Adam McNally. Adam McNally goes late on the brakes, and Luke Cooper's still got the inside line. Now going this one, he has to brake.
Look at Jason.
Oh, look at Jason goes, and Jason is fighting back hard. So the Swift Cooper Esports guys are all over the back of Adam McNally, and he's just got to hold on. But Luke Cooper now is on the back foot, but his teammate Jason Cooper is on the outside line. And it's a 4-way battle here. They're in formation, going into the left-hander. And the Swift Cooper Esports guys are out wide, and it's just given Adam McNally that little bit of breathing fresh air. But you've got to say, Jack Ashton, Chaz, he's coming back into it now, and this really is anybody's at the moment.
Yeah, it'd be hilarious for Jack Ashton to take the win from this if he's going to play that. So, oh, look, Cooper bouncing over the curbs, really nearly runs wide into the rear corner of Ashton. Just about doesn't do it, but he's lost a bit of ground, and it's Jason Cooper now that's going to be the main protagonist for Adam McNally. Adam's just got to do what he needs to do, just keep that car on track, but it seems like he's struggling a bit with the front end around these slower corners. Jason's surely got to go to the inside. Adam defends it strong. They're all just sort of trying to take the wider line. Oh, Ashton, really nice little overlap there on Jason Cooper. But it's all going to come down to the slipstream once again here, Tom. Oh, a bit of contact it looked like there, but I think that was just the camera angle manipulating what I saw. But here we go then, Luke Cooper down the inside. Oh, his contact with Ashton, that's going to take them 2 out of it. But is Jason Cooper going to get to Adam McNally before the line?
Yeah, is he going to do it? So here we go then. They've only got the straight to go. As we see Jason Cooper is tucked right up underneath the rear bumper in the number 35 car of the number 478 of Adam McNally. Here he comes then. They come past past the pit lane, onto the start-finish straight. It's anyone's guess. I don't know who's going to take it. And literally just Jason Cooper takes it. And on my timing screens, well, there wasn't even a gap there, Chaz. So unbelievable racing. It looks like it was 3/10 at the end. Sorry, that's the lap time, sorry. So Jason Cooper had a stonking lap, didn't he? And just managed to stick it up there as we look at the replay. So Jason Cooper right up the rear bumper of Adam McNally, and McNally knew he was there, but there's nothing he can do. And Jason Cooper had the speed, and look how close it was. That was, oh my God, that was anybody's guess. So another photo finish for everyone here.
Yeah, brilliant stuff as always. It just goes to show, as we see Jason, I believe, celebrating a bit too much there, ripping the front end off his MX5. Don't do that, Jason. 1,000th of a second is what we've got on the iRacing, sort of in the sim. It says that there's 1,000th of a second in it, and you don't really get much closer than that. I think the closest finish we've ever seen in the iRacing service was actually between, I think it was Sebastian Job and Wojciech Savidovic. I'm pretty sure Alex will correct me if I'm wrong, but there was less than 1,000th of a second in it. I think they got somebody to actually look at that, didn't they, Alex?
I think you're right. There was actually showed as 0 in the sim. So yeah, first time I've seen that.
It was absolutely amazing. I believe it was Daytona as well in the Kia, in the BSRTC Pro Series actually. But yeah, another amazing race by the MX5s there. We always say it, but it may not be the most powerful or sort of insanely in your face and exciting car that you think of on the service. But what racing, Tom? I mean, I'm loving this. I'm sure as your first race meeting, you are as well.
Yeah, I am. Absolutely fantastic racing from the guys. Just brilliant. So we'll take you through your race results then. In first, and a well-deserved win, Jason Cooper by 1,000ths of a second takes from Adam McNally. Luke Cooper and Pete Van Gool fell off a little bit at the end, but they are third and fourth. Benjamin Muse, a great drive from him. Your AM driver winner there in fifth. Jack Ashton in sixth. Steve Hefford seventh. Stelian Chepelewski in eighth. Stuart McFadden, a good drive from him, made up a fair few places in ninth. Alex Cherney in 10th. 11th was Nathan Davis. Craig Williams in 12th, another good drive from him. Jack McIntyre in 13th. Jamie Ayres in 14th. 15th for Josh Thompson, brilliant drive again. Craig Jones 16th, and 17th was Joe McDonald. Kip Cooper was in 18th. 19th Dan Hunt, 20th Ryan Walker. Scott Malcolm was 21st. Nick McCarron in 22nd. Rob Graham 23rd. Behind him, Jeroen Ursum in 24th. David Ayres 25th, and Anthony Mott in 26th. Brian Holmes 27th with Mikey Key in 28th. Peter Knowles in 29th in the 222 car. Tyler Luco Vickery was 30th, and 31st was Anthony Ainsworth. And Carl Hardy, Adam Delmont, Max Wright, Mikael Garcia, and Carl Jacquelet were rounding out your race there.
Smashing stuff as always. And I believe it's that time again for Alex to provide us with the spinny wheel and our reverse grid for race 3 out of 4 this evening.
Indeed it is. Hello again. Good to have some overlay back this time. So, right, let's have a spin. Maybe 45th, maybe 30th. I don't think we're going to make 4 - 2. No, we're not. 30th it is.
Okay, so that would mean then that Tyler Lugo Vickery, very luckily, goes on to pole position for the third race of the night, ahead of Peter Knowles, Michael Key, and race 1 winner Brian Holmes will start from 4th on the grid, and there's quite a lot of people between him and some of the quicker guys from that one. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens there. Just a quick note as well before we go to a break. Jason Cooper actually won that race by gaining 19 places, so he won that from 20th on the grid. Absolutely unreal drive by Jason, and what an end to the race. So hopefully we'll see more of the same in races 3 and 4 of the evening. Myself, Tom and Alex will be back with you in about 10-15 minutes time on the iRacing Esports Network. Don't go away.
Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMary at the line. Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMary at the line.
Welcome back to the iRacing Esports Network. Welcome back to Interlagos and the BSR MX5 Autumn Cup. I'm Chaz Draycott with Tom Jacobs and Alex Simpson with you tonight for the third race of the night. And we've got to do a very quick readout of the grid, so here we go. It's Tyler Lugo Vickery, Peter Knowles, Mikey Key, Brian Holmes, Anthony Mott, David Ayres, Jeroen Ursum, Rob Graham, Nick McCarron, Scott Malcolm, Brian Walker, Dan Hunt, and then you've got Kip Stevens, Joe McDonald, Craig Jones, Josh Thompson, Jamie Ayres, Jack McIntyre, Craig Williams, Nathan Davis. Then you've got Alex Cherney, Stuart McFadden, Cillian Chaplewski, Steve Hefford, Jack Ashton, Ben Mears for Peter Van Gool, Luke Cooper. And the lights are out and they're away. Leading the way is Tyler Lugo Vickery. We saw him have a bit of an incident in race 2, so he's going to be trying to make the most of it this time round. And once again, it's Youth Energy cars near the front of the field. Brian Holmes is up to 3rd already and then up to 2nd through turn 1. We saw him win race 1 of the night, and you've got to think that it might be on for race 3 here for him. Bit of contact down the inside between, I think it was Anthony Mott, and that was Jeroen Ursum. Oh, as he turns, who's that? That's Ryan Walker. Is it going around? Ryan's been clipped by somebody else. Not sure whether many other guys got involved. There's a couple of guys off track avoiding it. It looks like Stelian Chepelevsky's in that as well. He gained 25 places in race 2, and just getting out of the way is Jack Ashton too. So it really got messy at the back of the field there. One of the Result Clothing cars diving down the inside, but it's 2 Youth Energy cars at the front once again. I believe Tom may be with us now. We had a bit of a technical difficulty there coming back into the session, but I think we're all good now. Tom, you there?
Yeah, we're all good now. I actually managed to join the wrong session, but we're all right now. So, as we see, Brian Holmes straight out into the lead then. He's got Tyler Lugo Vickery behind him in the number 24 car, Youth Energy, and he's going to be defending all those guys behind him so that Brian Holmes, by the looks of it, can get a little bit of space on the go. But Brian Holmes is the lone pro driver to be up. Is he up 21 places there, Chaz?
Just 3.
Oh yeah, just 3. I think it might have been if to be fair, I think because you joined the session a little bit late, you might have had the warm-up results and then he's gone up 21 from there. That might have been the reason for that. But yeah, he's got a lot of AM drivers behind him, like you say. Got the likes of Tyler Lugo Vickery, Peter Knowles, Mikey Key, Rob Graham, David Ayres and Anthony Mott. And then the next pro driver up, as you can just see on your screen there, going around the outside of Anthony Mott, is Nick McCarron. And Dan Hunt also going to go down the inside of Anthony Mott. He's not going to know where to go at this point, but slipstream comes into effect for the first time tonight, and Brian Holmes is just absolutely away with it, Tom. He's just running with it.
Yeah, he's running really well, isn't he? But we've come to expect that from Brian. We know how quick he is and how quick he can be around here as well. But look at this gaggle of cars here. Looks like we're going to go 4 wide now on board with the number 51 of Jeroen Ursum. And they're going to go 4 wide into turn 1. It's just like a lot of bees going down the back straight. That looks even could be about 6 wide from that camera angle. They all dive into turn 1, and there's someone round, and that looks to be Jeroen Ursum, but he's managed to hold it in the number 51 car, so good on him there. But that's a real. There's a couple of cars up ahead as well, and they're keeping well out the way. Not sure who that is. I can't quite see because of the barrier. Not sure we'll get a replay on Apex Racing TV. But Chaz, look at this gaggle of cars here. This
no!
Isn't it? Has. There's a lot of cars round, a lot of people spinning. It's like Spa 98 all over again.
It is indeed. I think that started Luke Cooper, and well, I know Luke was the car that was turned. He was on the left-hand side, but I don't think he realised it was 3 wide. I think it was Jamie Ayres that ended up around at the front. Here we go then. And, oh yeah, Ayres, and I think that's this. Well, I think it was the 666 car, was it, that got in contact with him? I think it was David Ayres, yeah, of Result Clothing. And then as the rest of the field goes past there, you can see Luke Cooper. He's 3 wide as they go down the straight. He's got Jeroen Ursum, and who's that on the outside? It's Adam Delmont, and then he just comes over a slight bit. I think I'd say it was on Cooper, because I'm not sure that he knew they were 3 wide, like I say, and then you get that horrible effect that you get down there at Interlagos, and the cars just bounce off the wall into each other, and it's a real mess and a real shame. Brian Holmes, fastest lap of the race last time around, 2 seconds quicker than the guys following him. Mikey Key second at the moment with Peter Knowles, Tyler Lugo Vickery and Rob Graham, meaning that the rest of the top 5 at the moment is still AM cars.
Yeah, so the AM guys going quite well here, but it's not over yet. Not over by a long shot, as we see the slipstream working well now. Mikey Key out in front for the AM guys. It looks like they're about to make it 3 wide into turn 1. Slipstream working hard now. Mikey Key's got it all to defend from Tyler Lugo Vickery. As they go down the inside, it looks like the number 69 of Mikey Key's got it done, but the 222 comes back now of Peter Knowles, and he's trying to fight hard around the outside, Chaz. And I've got to say, this race is starting to look into a real good one. There's still 3 wide as they come down the straight now, and it'd be lovely for them to have DRS, but they obviously don't. And as you see, Mikey Key now dropping down places to Dan Hunt in the number 51. He's on the outside line. There's a bit of contact, pushes Dan Hunt out wide. There was a bit of argy-bargy. but everyone seems to get through quickly, and that's brought Nick McCarron right into the mix, Chaz.
And Josh Thompson's just gone around the outside of 3 cars at once. He's just gone around Mark, Rob Graham and Mikey Key as well. Real bit of contact between, I think it was Peter Knowles got into Dan Hunt there. Somehow they all managed to save it, but Josh Thompson, opportunistic as ever. I'm not sure whether we can get a quick replay of that, because that was absolutely beautiful stuff. He just kept it around the outside. Dan Hunt got a great run down the straight, but then Josh just kept his foot in, and on the exit he was just there and away with it. He's obviously getting caught up in the battle a little bit more now down the inside of Tyler Luger Vickery. I always get your name wrong, Tyler, I'm really sorry. But he's side by side with Rob Graham then. As here we go then. Just watch Josh Thompson here. This is absolutely brilliant. He's so far back from the battle as well. You can see it all going on. He just thinks, oh, there's a gap there. Let's get around here. Just avoids Anthony Mott. And they are. I'll have those 3 boys. I'll see you in a bit. And beautiful stuff. Opportunistic as ever. And, well, it's just the traits of Josh Thompson we've seen on iRacing throughout the seasons that we've been racing with him and commentating on it. It's just fantastic quality of driving, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, we know what to expect from Josh. We've seen him in a lot of series. We know him on a personal level, so he's a very quick driver. He really isn't one to be messed with. We see him go around the S's here, fighting hard. And we're looking at him now, and the number 47 car, and he's making real inroads, isn't he, Chad? Still holding that line around the inside against Peter Knowles, and we just know Josh has this uncanny ability to know where the car is and where the grip is before he's even at the corner. And that's what sets him above the rest. You could almost call him a bit of an alien, especially in the MX5 by the looks of it. But we look a bit further back now to the Youth Energy boys, Kip Stevens, and who else we've got in there? Adam McNally as well in the number 78. They're all jostling for position. So let's see what they can do here. Swift Cooper car's in there as well. And there's someone off. That's number 50. Yeah, that's Brian. That's Brian Holmes, your race leader. He's Max Verstappened it, and he looks to be on the apron there. I'm not sure what happened. So obviously no one hit him. Came down into the corner, hard on the brakes, tipped it in, clipped the curb slightly, and
oh no, that looks like a hardware failure.
That's a hardware failure, that, to be honest, there, Chaz. So unfortunate for him. Yeah, he's pinging around the track as well. So unfortunate for Brian Holmes there, but that puts Dan Hunt from Nick McCarron and Josh Thompson in 3rd place. So it's still all to play for here.
It certainly is, and these 3 guys, all in black and red cars as well, all very, very quick. So it's going to be good to see whether they can make a scrap of it, whether they can close up. But just going back to Brian, it did look like his wheel sort of disconnected or something there, because the car suddenly went straight on. He had no inputs whatsoever, couldn't even brake, and then all of a sudden you could see that it just went to full lock to the left. So it's as if it just sort of didn't recognise some of the inputs. But as we always do in sim racing, we put that down to a mechanical fault with the car, or say an engine failure or something. They do happen at random times. So in a way, it's kind of nice for the immersion that we actually get that. It at least sort of adds a bit more of an unknown factor as Thompson down the outside, sorry, down the inside of McCarron. 3 wide on screen at the moment, though. Peter Knowles, that was down the inside of Anthony Mott, and Tyler Lugo Vickery's in the battle as well. Thompson is up to 2nd now. And Brian said that his Oculus Rift died, unfortunately. So it's a real shame there, like we say, hardware failure. Real shame for Brian, though. He was doing so well, and surely a win was on the card, 2nd win of the night. But it happens, like we say. And at the moment, we've got a right good scrap on between all these AM drivers. Peter Knowles, Anthony Mott, Rob Graham leading the way, and then you've got Tyler Lugo Vickery and Mikey Key. Oh, he's trying to get the cut back there as Anthony Mott, and he's made it work, actually. Tom, he's got down the inside of Knowles there. Great stuff.
Yeah, he's driving really well, isn't he? It's Peter Knowles. We haven't spoken about him much tonight, but from what we can see so far, he is defending and attacking hard. But he's got a little bit of competition up against him. So let's see what he can do. The Youth Energy boys all in there and fighting hard. It's really turning out to be a nice, fierce fight, this. I was saying that in the break, race 1 seemed to go into a bit of a lull at the start, but race 2 and 3 halfway, and there's a car round. That is the Result Clothing car of Mikey Key. Not sure what happened. Looks like he got into a bit of contact with someone else. Let's have a look at the replay. There's someone off on the outside there. He goes down the inside to try and take the Youth Energy car. Youth Energy car fights back, and there was contact there with the Youth Energy car, and round he went. So, and another car getting caught up in that. So, unfortunate for him, Chaz, but there's another race to go after this one.
Yeah, he's always got another chance to get some results into the evening, but yeah, like I say, real shame there. But in such close fighting like this, you're bound to get the contact, of course. And it's a narrow track, as we were saying at the top of the broadcast, so it's not always the way. But Josh Thompson there, we saw, with an issue as well. So it's wiping out guys left, right and centre here at the moment. This really fierce fighting is causing quite a bit of attrition. But we see then Nick McCarron now behind his teammate Jack McIntyre back to the front. He's with Craig Williams in front, but Dan Hunt is running away with it. Still 3 laps to go though, so it's going to be a hard-fought race for these guys to try and catch up to him. But you've got to think that there's always going to be the chance. You can't give it up, and well, especially in the MX5 as we've seen so far, anything can happen.
Yeah, it can, can't it? We've said it before that it's a underpowered car, but certainly produces some great racing. Jack McIntyre now up into P2 in the Momo car, and he's got Nick McCarron and Craig Williams behind him. Craig Williams is going to have to do some work here. He's sandwiched between the 2 Momo cars, and obviously they're going to work together, as we saw the Youth Energy cars do earlier on in the evening on the iRacing Esports Network. I hope you're all enjoying it at home as much as we are here. So Craig McIntyre has it all to do to catch Dan Hunt, although Dan Hunt seems to be having a sterling race at the moment, Chaz. He's really starting to walk away with this, and I think if he can keep it on the track, it might just be his.
Yeah, definitely. He's always been quick. I remember racing against him a couple of times in the BSR TC Pro Series as well, and he's been very, very quick in this series and all. He's always been one of them drivers. He's a veteran of BSR, as we see Lugo Vickery and Adam McNally side by side now, trying to stay with Kip Stevens into the second to last corner. McNally's going to try and get the cut back on his teammate, and he seems to have done just that, nicely executed. Tyler's going to be helping him out, of course, and just making sure that he doesn't impede his teammate's progress. Tyler, of course, still doing a good job at the moment. He's in 11th, so he's not dropped like a stone, as we do see some of the AM drivers do that sometimes when they get in these battle with the pro drivers. It's easy to do. It's quite an intimidating position to be in. I mean, we've all experienced it before, obviously, of course, from Alex, who's actually quick, unlike you and I, Tom. But yeah, we've always dropped like stones when we're near the front of the grid.
Yeah, it's difficult when you're a slower driver and you've got some guys that are complete aliens that you're racing with, and you see them coming through, the likes of Nicole Foggy and Josh Thompson. I know Stuart McFadden can be very quick as well. 2 of those guys obviously racing tonight, Josh Thompson, Stuart McFadden. McFadden's having quite a decent race up to 13th now. But yeah, it can be intimidating for the slower guys. As you see, Craig Williams does get the move done on Jack McIntyre, so he's up into P2 and now chasing down Dan Hunt, but Dan Hunt has made up another 10th while these guys have been battling. But yeah, it can be intimidating for the guys, but you've just got to keep pushing. You can't ever give up, and as Michael Schumacher would say, you must fight and never give up in this sport.
He's certainly right as well. I'm sure we're going to see that until the very end of this 3rd race of the evening. Craig Williams has been quick as well, of course, all along. He's got, of course, his Craig's setup shop. He does iRacing setups for people, and he does a flipping good job of it as well. Puts a lot of work and effort into it. I'm not sure what his current process is if you want to subscribe to that, but I'm sure he'll be happy to help anyone out if you send him a message. But he's right under pressure at the moment from Jack McIntyre. And like I said before, Jack is a multiple series champion in this car, and Alex and I enjoyed some fantastic drifting from him last week. Don't really think Interlagos is the place to drift the MX5, but I'm sure he'll give it a go, as he's down the inside now of Craig down the straight. He's already got some of the slipstream anyway, so he's got a slight overspeed on him. Maybe Craig can get back in the slipstream once the overlap is gone and try and get another move done here, Tom.
Yeah, I thought he would have done that actually going down the straight, but he doesn't seem to have done. Maybe he knows something in that car that we don't. These guys fighting tooth and nail, but Jack McIntyre seems to have got the better run out of the first 2 corners, but coming out of them, it looks to be Craig Williams who's coming up the inside back again now. What a brilliant run that was. So now side by side as they come down the straight. Craig Williams has got the nose ahead of Jack McIntyre in the number 37 Momo car, but who's going to come off better here? So late on the brakes for both of them. Craig Williams darts up the inside. Jack McIntyre does go out wide, and he has lost that place there, Chaz. So, but as they come towards the hill, it still is anybody's guess.
And Dan Hunt's going to be happy about this in the meantime as well, of course. While these guys are fighting, it means that they're not going to be catching him up at the same rate of knots they normally would, and it's just making the win look even more convincing for him. And of course, it's sort of sealing the fate of the race. But if these guys can still finish on the podium and get both these cars across the line, then it'll be beneficiary for everyone. At the end of the day, it's a lot of championship points. Nick McCarron is in 4th, and then this is the battle going on behind. Look at this lot. You've got Peter Knowles up there ahead of Kip Stevens and Adam McNally. This is Tyler Lugo Vickery. Sorry, I've got your name wrong again. With Stuart McFadden and Max Wright in there as well. I've not seen much of Max tonight. He's usually towards the front of the field, having a good few scraps and battles as well. Peter Knowles is off. He's got to minimise the wheel spin, make sure he doesn't spin back on in front of these guys, and he's done just that. But he's going to lose a few places here. Stuart McFadden looking quick as always. He so far has gained 12 places in this race. Oh, he's around though. He's got contact, and that's that. Steve Hefford just nearly getting into the back of Tyler Lugo Vickery there. I think it might have been a slight knock, but real shame for McFadden. Just looking at the positions people gained, Adam McNally's gained 22 places so far, up to 7th, so he's doing a smashing job there. You can see it on the left. Max Wright 24 places as well, so great effort by Max. I was saying that he's near the front, and he's certainly worked to get in that top 10 as Craig Williams mounting the curves on the inside. McIntyre now back in front, but once again, Tom, slipstream's going to come into effect as we come on to the final lap of the race.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? And if anything, it might sound weird, but you might be better off being in 3rd place going on to the start-finish straight, because that slipstream is so strong in these cars, as we've seen in the first 2 races. That's the way you can take it back. But McIntyre seems to be defending well from Craig at the moment, doesn't he? Craig's through the mid-section of the circuit, through Sector 2 and Sector 3, and Craig seems to be a little bit faster. So if I was actually Craig, I would hold back until the start finish straight and try and get as close to the rear end of that car as I possibly can.
Yeah, we've seen that a good few times as well in the series at different tracks, and where the slipstream is really powerful coming onto a longer straight as you cross the line, you've got to really just sort of hold back, and it is a lot of mind games to try and not be the guy in front as you get onto it. So we'll see whether any of these guys try it that hard, but you've got Ayres there going around the outside of Cooper, and this is McNally and Stevens then in the fight for 7th and 8th. These guys having a really good scrap all race long. They've sort of made their way through the field together. Oh, there's in the background there, that's Knowles and Hefford getting into contact. And they've got Tyler Lugo Vickery down the inside of Hefford there, coming into this right-hander. But as we go through the final 2 corners, then look at Dan Hunt's lead. He's done an absolutely marvellous job of this. And he's going to take probably what is the most convincing win that we've seen so far this evening. The other ones have barely been separated by a 10th, but he's already celebrating. Why wouldn't you? At the end of the day, when you've got a lead like that, it was 4.5 seconds over the line last time. Dan Hunt takes the 3rd win of the evening. Fantastic effort by Dan. It doesn't look like Craig's going to be quick enough down the straight here, Tom. It doesn't look like he's going to get it done over Jack McIntyre, and he doesn't.
No, he doesn't, does he? He was close though. There wasn't that much in it. You probably couldn't get much in between them, but we see Van Gool taking the fight onto right there, and does he get it? No, he doesn't. Not quite. So nearly for him, but when we go back again into the slipstream battles, and it's 3 wide for these boys, and looks to be that Cooper was the one to miss out there, Chaz. So still some real fierce slipstream battles going on until the end of the race.
Yeah, like we said before, you can never give up. Any sort of slipstream or different racing line can be an opportunity, and especially as we've been saying in a momentum car like this, it's very important. As you see Dan Hunt there, nice bit of a slide on the exit, really giving it some drifting for some style points there. Smashing to see as always. He's been clearly watching Jack McIntyre celebrate his race wins, but yeah, Dan really deserved that. He just made his way through the field. Nice manoeuvre to get to the front, and he kept it there. And look at that for a slide. Oh, it's gone around on him, unfortunately, but he's given it a go, and he's going to be very happy with that result. Really, really clean drive. 11 places gained, and well, you can't blame him, can you?
No, you can't. It was a sterling drive from him. He just made use of other people's misfortunes, unfortunately. I mean, Brian Holmes looked to be who was walking away with the win at one point. Unfortunate for him, he had a little bit of an error with his Oculus Rift, and that was all she wrote at the end. So Dan Hunt, a well-deserved win from him. Brilliant work.
Was indeed. And any second now, last few cars crossing the line. A bit of a battered machine there coming across the line. Not in the best of conditions, and not going exactly straight. That was Alan McCain in the number 17 car that we see there. But we should have the results for you any second now, and there you are if you'd like to do the honours, Tom.
Yeah, so Dan Hunt is your P1 race winner in race 3, so a well-deserved race from him. Behind him, Jack McIntyre and Craig Williams, 2nd and 3rd. Craig Williams not just been able to get it done. Nick McCarron in 4th with Rob Graham behind him. Anthony Mott in 6th. Adam McNally in 7th. And then Kip Stevens, a good drive from him in 8th. Max Wright in 9th. Pete Van Gool in 10th. Tiger Lugo Vickery in 11th. Steve Hefford in 12th. Scott Malcolm 13th. Another good drive from him. Quite consistent. Peter Knowles in 14th. 15th was Stuart McFadden. Again, a really good drive. 16th was Jamie Ayres for Momo. Jack Ashton and Adam Delmont for Youth Energy in 17th and 18th. 19th was Jason Cooper for Swift Cooper Esports. Carl Jackalette in 20th. David Ayres in 21st, Mick Barry 22nd, Stelian Chepelewski in 23rd. He'll be looking to get a decent result in race 4. Joe McDonald in 24th, Alan McCain in 25th, and Anthony Ainsworth in 26th. Rounding out your grid, and people who I don't think finished were Mikkel Garcia, Craig Jones, Jordan Giddins, Nathan Davies, Mikey Key, Alex Cherney, Josh Thompson, Brian Holmes, unfortunate for him, Jeroen Newsom, Carl Hardy, Luke Cooper, Ashley Beard, and Ryan Walker.
Cracking stuff. Thank you very much, Tom. And with that then, with the results being classified, of course, we now have the third and final spinny wheel of the evening, to which Mr. Alex Simpson, I'm sure, is very excited to do. And we'll see what we get for a reverse grid.
Yeah, always a pleasure. Here we go. Looks like our full -1 might be coming back into play. And indeed it does.
So, your race 2 pole position driver of Anthony Ainsworth misses out by 1 position on that, unfortunately. And it's the car of Alan McCain that we just saw then, in looking a little bit worse for wear, that's going to start from pole. Joe McDonald will be second on the grid. But very importantly, with a lot of guys between him and some of the quicker guys that are going to be towards the back of the field, it's Stelian Chepelewski third on the grid. So even at this point, I'm pretty confident that he could probably get the win on this one. And Tom, Alex and I will join you in about 10-15 minutes time on the iRacing Esports Network. And we'll see how we get on in our final race of the night in the BSR MX5 Autumn Cup. Don't go away. Welcome back to the iRacing Esports Network. Welcome back to the BSR MX5 Autumn Cup. And we're here at Interlagos for the fourth and final race of the evening. Charles Draycott with Tom Jacobs in the booth and Alex Simpson on the cameras, doing a brilliant job as always. And Tom, we've seen three fantastically exciting races so far tonight, and with a bit more sort of warmth in the air, we're hoping for maybe a little bit more action in the last one as well.
Yeah, the track seems to be a little bit hotter, doesn't it? So the guys are going to have to watch themselves. That's why they're going out for their practice at the moment. It's going to be an interesting one, especially for the front runners. Stelian Chepalevsky obviously has got a really good starting position, so Interested to see what he can do, but they just need to watch the rear end.
We'll have to have a look then. The air temperature, not much hotter, but the track temperature, obviously, with it being clearer conditions, is going to be heating up over the course of the race. And that may mean that tyre degradation becomes an actual factor in this one. The grid then. Alan McCain on pole position with Joe McDonald, 2 AMs on the front row. Stelian Chepelevsky, as Tom just mentioned there, is 3rd on the grid. He's got to be the favourite for this win today. Mick Barry 4th on the grid with David Ayres and Carl Jacquelet 5th and 6th. Jason Cooper and Adam Delmont, they'll be looking to make a bit of progress forward. Also, Jack Ashton and Jamie Ayres as well, rounding out your top 10. Stuart McFadden has been quick tonight as well. Peter Knowles is 12th. Following them on the grid is Scott Malcolm, Steve Hefford, Tyler Luger-Vickery, Peter Van Gool, Max Wright, Kip Stevens, Adam McNally, and rounding out your top 20 is Anthony Mott. And very shortly, we should have the lights, as you can see the rest of the grid scrolling through there. We should have lights on the start of the race then. So, 5 lights lighting up. The green lights are on and they're away. The usual plumes of smoke all up and down the field. It's a good start by McDonald, actually. McCain's not too bad off the line, but look at Chepelevsky go. He's going around the outside already. 3 wide into turn 1 for the lead. McCain runs a little bit wide. Chepelevsky gets a great cutback. McDonald really taking all the curb he can, but Chepelevsky's going to be on the inside now and up to 2nd place. Done a great job off the line there, and Mick Barry's trying to get involved as well with that bright pink roll cage and wheels. It seems like it's quite clean looking at the timing screen. Doesn't seem like we've actually had anyone off so far, Tom.
No, we haven't, have we? So everyone got off to a really good start into turn 1. I expected a bit more argy-bargy as McCain tries to look up the inside of Chepelevsky, but he's just a little bit too far back. But let me just say what a start Chepelevsky had. He managed to keep himself out of trouble, which is what he needs to do. He doesn't want to do a Vettel and end up facing the wrong way after 2 corners, but he's right on the back of Joe McDonald at the moment.
Oh, no!
And Joe McDonald's gone, so Chepelevsky does take the lead there. I'm not quite sure what happened. There doesn't seem to be any contact, but I'm sure we'll get a replay here on the iRacing Esports Network. But unfortunate for him, because he got a cracking start there, Chaz.
Yeah, he just seems to be controlling at the front. I think the pressure just got to him. Looks like Stelian gave him a little bit of a bump down the straight, but by the time they got into corner, Stelian had broken earlier, and he just lost the rear end going in. It's easy to oversteer it when you're at high speed. He's lucky it didn't go in the wall. I think Carl Jacquelet had a bit of an issue as well. He dropped quite a few places as well. But there we go then. And Jason Cooper's up to 2nd place now, so he's not going to let Chepelevsky get away with it. As we go on board with the very bright roll cage Jason Cooper, as you saw there. McCain now in 3rd. He's the highest placed AM driver currently. And as we've seen before, he's got a couple of guys further back then. Mick Barry and David Ayres are the next 2 AM drivers, 9th and 10th, so he's got a bit of breathing room, but with the likes of Jamie Ayres, Jack Ashton, Adam Delmont, Stuart McFadden and Steve Efford between them, it's probably not going to be long before they're through and that gap has been dissipated.
Yeah, it probably won't be too long, I've got to say. Chepelevsky's still going to have to watch himself, although we do know how fast he is round here. But he has got the likes of Jamie Ayres and Stuart McFadden at the back there as well, although they're going to have to make up a lot of places. But Jason Cooper as well, we know how quick he is round here, and he really isn't letting Stelian get away, is he? He's brought that gap down to just 4/10 of a second. When Chepelevsky took the lead, it was 7/10 of a second. So not getting away here, Chaz. It's still anyone's to play for.
It certainly will be, and as we've said all night long, it's that good old slipstream, especially in the MX5, as everyone taking a bit of a scenic route around the double left-hander there as they go up the hill. And I was going to try and pronounce the name of that corner, but I'm not going to lie to you, I have no chance of doing that. Hefford looking to go around the outside of McFadden there, not quite doing it. He's got 2 Youth Energy cars in front of him. That's Delmont and Jack Ashton really mounting the curbs there, giving it everything they've got. Hefford around the outside again, it's 2 by 2. You can just see that outside line doesn't work there, but if you keep it close enough though, you do have the inside for the left-hander there, so it's a strategic part of the track, Tom, isn't it, where you've got to try and make sure you've got the right line, and if you don't, then it's just about how well you change that from corner to corner.
Yeah, it's one of those cases, isn't it, where if you can make it around the outside into the first hairpin, and then as you go around the left-hander, you might come better off, which is what the Youth Energy boys are doing at the moment. As McFadden has a little look up the inside of one of the Youth Energy boys, that's Jack Ashton in the number 98 car, and now he's going to get the slipstream. And we know how quick McFadden has been round here so far, Chaz, but Steve Hefford and Pete Van Gool are behind him, although Van Gool is a little bit further back, but it's Youth Energy and Momo once again with a little bit of C2R flavour thrown in as well, as we see Chepelevsky and Cooper right at the front. Cooper really not letting Chepelevsky get away, is he? He's right on the heels of him. Look a bit back, look a bit further back. We've got Jamie Ayres going around the outside there of Alan McCain, and he moves up into the last podium position. So these guys going really hard here, Chaz, and they're fighting for that podium.
They certainly are. A nice little slide by Jamie Ayres as well. As Stuart McFadden is side by side, and then Hefford is side by side with Ashton as well. So it's 2 by 2 by 2 by 2, and then by 2 again. You've got McNally and Jamie Ayres there fighting, and then behind that is Craig Williams, and he's fighting with Barry. So lots of dicey little pairs going on as Hefford runs a bit wide there, off on the AstroTurf. Still managed to keep it in a battle with Jack Ashton, of course. But yeah, it's just a really good spread of racing all the way through this sort of top 12 even now, or even 13 as Kip Stevens gets involved with the McBarry and Craig Williams little debacle that's going on. But as you were saying as well, it's just Momo and Youth Energy are just being the class of the field with the Swift Cooper Esports team in there as well. That's Nick McCarran getting past Joe McDonald. He's got Benjamin Mears ahead of him now, who's going to be his next target. Here's a really good train with Jack McIntyre in the middle, Scott Malcolm. Jack Ashton's going down the order. You can see smoke and he's off on the right. Not sure whether he's been turned around or whether he's done it himself, but real shame for Jack there. He's not had the best of luck this evening. Obviously a good race too, of course, but yeah, getting caught up in incidents is never the plan. You see McFadden with Delmont weaving around all over the back of him. Alan McCain's doing a good job so far, still up there in 4th place. And the next AM driver down is Mick Barry in 11th. He's got a good bit of breathing room, but it's going to be interesting to see what Jason Cooper does over the course of this race with Chepolewski, because there's a bit more of a gap this time round as they come down the straight. But as we said at the end of race 3, you might sometimes want to be that guy that is behind as you come onto the lap. So maybe Jason's doing a little bit of, I'm not supposing fuel saving, because it might not be a massive thing in these short sprint races, but you've got to think there's some part of the strategy involved in that, Tom.
Yeah, it is a strategy thing, and we've even seen it in F1, haven't we, with the DRS rules coming. As we see with Delmont and McCain fighting it out there, that it's worked in McFadden's favour. He's got a half a second coming out of that corner. So good for McFadden. He's up into 4th place. He's going to be hunting down Jamie Ayres. We know how quick Jamie can be, and there's a bit of dicing behind them. The Momo cars still going well, as we see now McNally go straight up the inside of Craig Williams. So a brilliant move there from him, just got him on the brakes, in he turned, and it was goodbye Mr. A for him. So yeah, great racing so far from the boys. It's nice to see a series in which the guys, you know, they fight hard, but there's not too many in the way of foolish incidents. I was watching a stream the other night, and there's people spinning off and turning into each other to come back on the track. So it's nice to see the guys playing a lot of respect to each other.
Yeah, we have seen quite a lot of that over the season. It's quite a good car to get to master as well as the MX5. I mean, we've often said it is one of the most accurate and nicest to drive cars on the service as well. It's just so well polished, and it's really, really good fun to get into and just sort of blast it around the lap as best as you can. It's not sort of too quick that you've really got to think too much, and it's scary to get a little bit of oversteer now and then. But you see Stuart McFadden getting a little bit wide there as Hefford is now on the back of Delmont. This battle is really spicing up. All the faster guys have sort of bubbled to the top of this now. They're boiling up to the top of the pecking order. Jamie Ayres is sort of on his own at the moment in 3rd, but I'm sure he'll want to get onto the back of Jason Cooper and help his teammate Chepolewski out. And Hefford's going to be doing the same as he's got the slipstream from McFadden. Then he dives to the left-hand side. It's going to be 3 wide, is it? Delmont just gets an overlap on Stewart. Stevens down the inside. Really late on the brakes by Hefford. That was a fantastic move. Really beautifully executed. Very demanding on the brakes, and he's away, Tom. Smashing effort.
Yeah, brilliant effort from him. You see someone off at the back. Was that Alan McCain? Oh, unfortunate for him. He was having such a good run so far. But yeah, Mr. Hefford. I don't know where that came from. And we were saying how respectful these guys are. It's probably the most respectful move I've seen in a while. You see McFadden dives up the inside of Delmont. Can he make it stick? On board with him now. Goes out very wide. And he's still on the back end of Hefford. But yeah, Hefford just nice aggression. Didn't, you know, make any mistakes. Late on the brakes and straight down the inside he went. So I think that's move of the evening for me there, Chaz.
It was just nice and far back and just neat, wasn't it, really? Just nice and neat and tidy. No sort of wobbling around or any mess. Speaking of mess, hopefully we were going to avoid that there with Adam Delmont and Stuart McFadden is just behind them. Peter Van Gool gets involved as well. Really good scrapping all the way through. Oh, Delmont a little bit out of shape on the curbs there. You can see Adam McNally in the background fighting with Craig Williams. Not sure whether Adam's got an issue. The car seems to be going quite slow as they came towards the hairpin there. Whether it was just because he was on the outside and the momentum didn't go with him, but hopefully no issues for Adam. He's been pushing really hard tonight. Here's your race leader then, Stelian Chepelevsky with Jason Cooper all over the back of him. Jason's not made a massive effort to actually go for the lead yet. He's just quite happy to sit with him and not probably kill his tyres in the battle, I think. That might be the main thing you've got to think about. With it being slightly warmer on the track, you might just have to take care of it. He's not really pushing to go round him, is he, at all? He's just sort of helping give him a few extra horsepower down the straight, as it seems.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? I think he's doing what we said of just biding his time and just pushing him up the back straight there. So it might be a tyre saving thing, but it looks like if he wanted to, he could get the move done down the back straight. But Chepelevsky, always the man to fight. We know how quick he is, especially in rallycross. His rallycross efforts have been absolutely fantastic for the live stream this year. So good on Stefan, but yeah, Mr. Cooper, these guys are pulling away. But you got to say, Jamie Ayres is also having a good race. We haven't spoken about him much. He's just sat nice and happy in third. He's got a bit of open air, not getting too much dirty airs. Chepelevsky gets massively out of shape coming through the double left-hander there, and Cooper still doesn't go for the move, Chaz.
Yeah, he's definitely biding his time, and he's just playing mind games as it stands, I think. But he's doing a fine job of it, though, and it's just another sort of aspect of this respectful racing we've been on about tonight, and it's nice to see that they're both keeping it clean and keeping it on track. But I'm sure they're both having a right laugh doing it as well, though. It is always good fun to race this car, and of course, if you do want to get involved, then do try and get on iRacing, get yourself a wheel and pedals if you haven't already. You can subscribe to the sim, and I believe they're also doing a promo for new sign-ups at the moment, or renewals. I'm not quite sure which one or two it was, but yeah, the action on track is always worth it, and the content they've been pumping out recently is unbelievable as well. It's fantastic stuff, so make sure you do get yourself on here, and if you are, then you can go to bsrhub.com and you will easily find someone there that will be happy to sign you up and get everything sorted, and you could be on track with these guys within a matter of hours. But as we see it then at the moment, Chepelevsky has that little gap on Jason Cooper, but that's soon going to disappear down the straight. I was just looking down the timing screen then as well. Benjamin Mears has gained 18 places so far in this race, so another fantastic show of performance by some of the AM drivers making their way through. Craig Williams has got 15 places. Nathan Davis has got 17 in the 88 green machine. And yeah, like I say, it's just a really good spread of guys putting in a smashing effort so far, gaining all the places they can. New personal best with Delmont, Van Gool and Stevens on that lap. I think they did personal best the lap before as well, so just shows you that no matter how far through the race you are, these guys can always improve. There's a bit of action going on the timing screen. A couple of guys showing us off track as it stands. Oh, it's Hefford. He's going down the order. McFadden's in it. Oh, wow, there's a car upside down there. Not sure who that was. I think that was actually Van Gool that was upside down. Let's have a look. Hefford and McFadden side by side then. Oh, there's a little touch. Hefford's in the wall and he catches Van Gool out as well. And that's just, well, he's just turned it into a turtle there, hasn't he, Tom? It's just completely on its shell.
Yeah, he's turned it from a convertible into a car with a roof. The roof being the concrete on the apron. So unfortunate for him, he had a really good drive, didn't he? And it's just unfortunate. We've got another. Is that a back marker out there on the? Not sure who that was. I believe that was a number 96 car. We'll hope maybe get a replay of that one. Yeah, I'm not sure.
I think it was Anthony Ainsworth actually.
Anthony Ainsworth. So unfortunate for him. So if you guys starting to come off now, Chaz, it might be a tyre thing. You know how hard they're going to push in these sprint races. A bit of pressure as well, always starting to come in. But we see now a little battle now. Looks to be for 11th place. So McCarran is leading it with Davis as well. And yeah, it's just been a nice. It's been chilled. There's not been too many mistakes from the guys. They've all been fighting hard. Main one I want to see at the end is Mr. Cooper and Mr. Chepelevsky in the way that goes. But you see the slipstream is going to start coming into it now with Benjamin Muse in the number 13 car. And he's going to be on his teammate as well with Scott Malcolm behind him in the number 74. As they're going too wide now with Nathan Davis and Mr. Jacquelet, Carl Jacquelet in for Sim Ortal. He's going to be right in the slipstream. So as they come into turn one now, they're going to try and make it 3 wide as Nathan Davis dives up the inside. He does a little dummy move and looks like he may have got the Sim Ortal driver. The Sim Ortal driver goes wide and Jacquelet does miss out there. So unfortunate for him, nearly gets in the way of the guys behind him. So yeah, I've got to say, Chaz, some really good battles going on out there at the moment.
Yeah, there was nearly a big bit of contact between Mears and Jacquelet there as he was wide. I think Mears judged it and thought, I'm just going to punch the throttle and just go for it down there. And Slight bit of contact, but nothing too major. Hopefully it's not damaged the car that much. But Scott Malcolm all over the back of his teammate now in the Autumn Hill machine. Those two are 3rd and 4th overall in the AM category. Of course, the final time this evening, I'll probably say it. The pro cars on the left, as you can see on our timing tower that we have. The blue stripes designating the pro drivers and the green for the AM. And 3 of the pro drivers at the front then are these guys, Stelian Chepelevsky and Jason Cooper, who we're on board with now with that bright day-glow yellow roll cage. You're not going to miss that car from any sort of distance. Chasing Stelian Chepelevsky, and we are, of course, coming on to the final lap of the race and the final lap of the evening. We hope you have enjoyed the action so far on the iRacing Esports Network. It's a pleasure to be broadcasting it for you. And, well, Alex has given us the treat of being on board with Jason Cooper then for this last lap to see what he can do on Chepelevsky. This slipstream's going to be oh so important, so he's probably going to be weighing up his options right now and just seeing how much of a run he can get from how far back. And you can see on that gear change there, look at the overspeed he's got. But he's just pushing Stelian down the straight once more. Probably going to be the last time we'll see him do that then. White flag is out, Tom. One more round of this track to go.
Yeah, it's going to come down to the wire for these two, isn't it? Cooper's just got to keep it nice and tight. And Chepelevsky, well, he knows what he's got to do. He's an experienced iRacer. He's got to try and just nail those apexes, use all the track as much as he can. But it's that slipstream that's really going to bring it down to the wire here. So I'm interested to see what tactics he does do. Whether he's going to take him earlier on, apart from the start-finish straight, but he doesn't go for the move there, and he's touched Chepelevsky out the rear, and Chepelevsky manages to hold it. So this battle really starting to fire up now, Chaz.
Yeah, I think he was just a little bit. I don't think he was expecting Chepelevsky to be that early on the brakes there. Another little tap up the back straight. Then as they go into the double right-hander, he's really putting the pressure on. It's not necessarily dirty racing from him. He's just giving him a tap and saying, "Look, I'm still here, mate. You're not getting rid of me yet." But Chepelevsky's going to be fired up and wanting to make sure that he can get this thing across the line ahead of him. Takes a wider line through there, and it causes Jason to get on the brakes a little bit to get out of that. So through these last few corners, then it's going to be a feisty one. We've got Adam McNally showing his praises for Stelian in the chat, saying, "Go on, Stelly, don't let him do you like he did me." So he's got people willing him on here, Tom. 2 more laps to go. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, it's a little bit further back though this time through, isn't he? Is Jason Cooper. But that Swift Cooper Esports car, here we go then. So up the start, finish straight. Stelian Chepelevsky gets a little bit wide on the exit and it causes the rear end to come out. But here he comes now, the number 35, Jason Cooper. He's been doing everything he needs to do, but he's come out the slipstream a little bit early, but he has got the run. That was great overhead shot here, but Chepelevsky has got the inside line and it really is going to come down to the wire, but Cooper's just got the nose in and he just takes it. We've got to say Jamie Ayres there as well. He was right up there with them. He wasn't too far off, was he? I think another few laps and he'd have been fighting for that lead as well. But a well-deserved win, as you see. Kip Stevens takes 5th position, 3 wide over the line with Craig Williams and Adam Delmont. Sorry, I got your name wrong there. Nick McCarran then for 12th place in the fight with Mr. Muse and Mr. McCarran. They all start to come over the line now. So yeah, Chaz, what's your final roundup of that race there?
It was a lot cleaner than I was expecting actually with the warmer weather. Luke Cooper there really close with Mick Barry across the line. I'm just going to have a quick look at what the gap was between those two. It is just showing us 0.03 of a second, so another close finish for those guys. But yeah, as one of the one of the iRacing Esports Network's moderators on the chat has just said, that was a hell of a finish in Capital. So very excited by that. But yeah, that was a really nice race to finish off the night with. That I was very chuffed with the driving standards that we've seen all night. To be fair, a few little incidents, but it was just the usual mistakes that you can expect when you're in this car. I mean, one thing I've always said about it is that it's very soft. You get a lot of body roll in it, and the weight transfer in it can never be the smoothest, as we see Jack McIntyre still drifting that thing. We're going to have to stick with this again, I think, Alex, because he's doing what he did at Donington. So, it's gone around on him this time, though. I must have jinxed it straight away. But amazing car control. But there's your race 4 winner, Jason Cooper, and well deserved as well. He played the right tactic, didn't he, Tom? As we were saying all race, just biding his time and got it done at the right moment.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? And he calculated the time that he needed and how much of the slipstream he needed to get past Stelian Chepelevsky. I've got to say though, Chepelevsky did a great job. He did control the race from the front pretty much all the way through. But it's just that slipstream again, Chaz, and it's surprising how strong it is in this car. So your race results from race 4, then your final race of the night. Jason Cooper takes the win in the number 35 car for Swift Cooper Esports, so be happy with that. Second place, Stelian Chepelevsky for Momo Racing. Jamie Ayres takes third, nearly there at the end, with Craig Williams in fourth. Kip Stevens in fifth. Adam Delmont in sixth, with Alan McCain taking the seventh spot. Jack McIntyre in eighth, with Anthony Mott in ninth. Nathan Davis in 10th, and Benjamin Muse in 11th. Nick McCarron in 12th, with Carl Jacquelet and Scott Malcolm behind him. Good battle from those guys. Max Wright in 15th, Rob Graham in 16th, Joe McDonald in 17th, and 18th for Luke Cooper. Looking a little bit further down, Mick Barry for Result Clothing in the 675 takes 19th, Alex Cherney in 20th, David Ayres 21st, Craig Jones, the number 43, is 22nd, Carl Hardy was 23rd, and Jeroen Ursum was 24th. Dan Hunt 25th, with Steve Heffer behind him in 26th. 27th was Stuart McFadden, and then for the rest of your grid was Pete Van Gaal, Jack Ashton, Adam McNally, Tyler Lugo Vickery, Jordan Giddins, Anthony Ainsworth, Brian Holmes, unfortunate for him, Mikey Key, and Peter Knowles rounds out your 36 drivers.
Smashing stuff as always then, boys. Really enjoyed watching this one and commentating on it for you. We've got a couple of drivers in the interview waiting area currently. I'll have to just see who we can bring in for the first one of the night. And we bring in Scott Malcolm. Scott, you saw, well, we saw you in a couple of battles tonight, but nothing too feisty. How did you feel like tonight went?
I think what I need to do, just try and get as close to better as possible.
We saw that there was quite a few little incidents throughout the night, but overall it seemed like quite a clean meeting, really. I mean, did you experience anything that was a bit over the top, or did it seem clean from where you were?
Yeah, it was pretty clean. I was pretty surprised at seeing the amount of cars that were on the grid. They're going to sell it. This was going to be not late, but no, I was pretty impressed with finding it.
And I'm just trying to find where we are next week, but can't seem to find it.
Monza.
Oh, it's Monza, so, well, we've been saying tonight how important the slipstream is, but I think out of all tracks on the calendar, that's going to be the most important one. Is it a track that you enjoy driving? Are you confident going there?
Yeah, I like that track. I think it's going to be without the first chicane, is that quite right?
It is indeed.
Well, I would like to be a bit better than that.
It's going to be very scary watching all you lot fly through the... well, I can't even remember the name of it now, but yeah, the long right-hander. I've just, the name's gone out of my head, but yeah, it's going to be... Curva Grande, that's the one. Thank
Coming
you
out
very
with all
much.
the facts.
Indeed, yeah, we've got Alex here, the absolute glossary of motorsport right now. But yeah, I mean, going through there, the first thing I think of is that it's going to oversteer and go around on you, but I suppose it's all down to your confidence in the turning, isn't it?
I'll just shut my eyes and go for it.
Well, we hope it goes well for you, Scott. We'll keep our eye out for it. And if we do see an Autumn Knock Hill car going sideways and rolling through the gravel, then at least we'll know which one it is, I suppose.
No, don't be me. That'll not be me. That's usually Rob.
Yeah, we'll leave that to Rob Graham anyway. But it's great to speak to you as always. Anyone you were going to give a shout out to before you go?
Just the usual crowd, usual good podcasts,
Smashing stuff. Well, good to speak to you as always, Scott. Thank you very much, and we wish you all the best of luck for next week.
Yeah, cheers, Josh.
Now, Tom, you have the choice of two drivers right now. One is Mr. Ryan Walker, and the other is my favourite Scotsman, Mr. Adam McNally of Youth Energy. Well, they're both of Youth Energy. They both had exciting nights, so who should we go for?
Yeah, we'll go for Adam McNally.
And there he is, with his beautiful Geordie sultry tones.
Alright everyone, how's it going?
Yeah, we're good. We're good in the commentary booth. So you had a good night racing tonight, mate. A couple of little incidents, but you must have delighted with Youth Energy's performance.
Yeah, we sure had really good pace around here tonight. Every driver seemed to be on it, just seemed to get involved in a few incidents. But on a draft track like this, it's pretty much looking at a draw if you're going to get caught up or not. So just have to take it as it comes. But some solid racing all night, it's been proper good fun. Really love this track, especially in these cars.
Yeah, we were saying earlier they're not the fastest cars on the service, but they're quite easy to drive quick, but quite difficult to master. We saw you in a fair few decent battles out there. So we hear we're going to Monza next week. Are you looking forward to that? Is that a track that you enjoy? I know for me as a Ferrari fan, it's my go-to. So.
To be honest with you, I'm not really a big fan of Monza, but like tonight was definitely one of my favourite tracks. Like I do really love Interlagos, but Monza's going to all be about the draft again and just trying to keep out of trouble.
Well, happy days, mate. But yeah, it's been brilliant racing all night. I know we've really enjoyed it up in the commentary box. So
yeah, that finished race too. I had to say well done to Jason Cooper for that finish race too. Just end up driving to the line, looking to the right, watching them just breeze past. There's not a thing I could do about it.
It was absolutely fantastic racing. But yeah, that fight itself was. Were you worried at any point that he was going to get you before then, or were you just waiting for the slipstream to take over?
I knew it was going to be the last lap. I knew he was just going to sit there and go for it on the last corner. There's just not a thing you can do to defend. Either way you move, they've got the run on you, and it's not, like I said, the past.
Yeah, we were saying in the commentary box that it seems to be easier to hang back before the start-finish straight to go for the win. But great night's racing from you, Adam. Before we let you go, mate, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout?
Yeah, just shout out to everyone who sorts the league out behind the scenes. You lads for doing the commentating. Can't wait to watch it. All the usual sponsors: Tams Detailing, Racing Mentor, Youth Energy, Motorsport Days Live, and the Premature Baby Foundation, and all the drivers who took part tonight. Some great race.
Brilliant stuff, mate. Adam McNally there, and the number 478 for Youth Energy. Pleasure to watch you racing, mate, and I look forward to next week.
Right, thanks for having us.
Cheers.
Brilliant. It's good to speak to Adam as always. Very enthusiastic about his racing, and he does a great job of managing the Youth Energy team there. They've got a good lineup of drivers tonight. He's admittedly said recently that they did struggle to get a few drivers in, but it's nice to see him with a big full team tonight. Probably just a bit of time for one more tonight, and we'll bring in someone who actually put in a fantastic performance in race 1 tonight, Mr. Ryan Walker. You put it second on the grid, and you finished there, mate. Surely you're chuffed with that.
Yeah, I was quite surprised by that, to be honest. I mean, yeah, it was just a lucky lap in qualifying, and just the luck of the draw to get a good tow from Adam on my final qualifying lap, and yeah, just to qualify second, I'm pretty chuffed with that, and to finish second in race 1 after a great battle with Brian and Jack McIntyre, I was absolutely over the moon.
Great stuff. Well, we saw that it was relatively clean. I've said this to a couple of people tonight as well, that it was clean racing out there from what we saw. I mean, did you find anything that was particularly out of hand?
Not from what I could see. I thought the racing, from my point of view, was actually pretty good. Unfortunately, I just ended up getting caught up in an incident in race 3 and 4. But with like Adam said in the broadcast, with it being a slipstream or a draft track, if you like, it's always going to be so close. So it's just about trying to keep out of trouble and just trying to keep it clean. But yeah, it wasn't the best of nights for me. But race 1 for me is still the highlight of the evening, and yeah, I'm still happy with that result.
Great stuff. And of course, we've got Monza next week. You mentioned draft tracks and slipstreaming. That's obviously the mecca of all things like that. Is that a track that you're confident going into, or do you reckon it'll be you'll need to sort of rely on the great leveler of the playing field that is slipstream?
I've never really been quick at Monza, but I've always liked the track. I think again it'll be like tonight. But as you say, I think it could just be down to the draft and the slipstream, and to use a slipstream in the draft rather to use as a to make it a level playing field, I guess. So again, I think it would just be like it was tonight, just trying to keep out of trouble and just keeping it clean.
It certainly will be. And Scott Malcolm mentioned that his approach to going into the first corner, because there's no chicane, it's going to be just close your eyes and pray. So do you reckon you'll be following suit in that?
Yeah, I think it's just I'll just be taking the approach of just see what happens. If I have a terrible night, I have a terrible night. If it goes well, it goes well. But yeah, just see what happens, and just if I get any decent results in all 4 races at Monza, then I'll be happy enough.
Awesome. Well, good to speak to you as always, Ryan. And before we let you go tonight, is there anyone you want to just give a quick shout out to?
Just you guys at Apex TV for the broadcast as always, or also Youth Energy for the Youth Energy boys for just helping me out in the Mazda as always, and also the admins at BSR for putting on the MX5 series, which is I always find good fun, and looking forward to it.
Brilliant. Well, we wish you all the best of luck, mate, and we'll hopefully try and speak to you around then, but we'll keep an eye on your results and see how you get on. All the best.
All right, thanks, Jazz.
And that pretty much wraps us up for the evening. Tom, it's been an absolute pleasure to commentate alongside you once again, and, well, as your first night watching this series and indeed having the pleasure of commentating on it, what do you reckon?
Yeah, it's good fun, isn't it? What a brilliant series they've got here. I know BSR always throws on a good one, BSR TC being the main one that they love. But no, the MX5s have been absolutely fantastic. Nice clean racing from the guys. Not too many upsets. No one seems to be absolutely raging in the YouTube chat. So yeah, it's been a nice one to commentate on, guys. Thanks for having me. Hopefully I'll see you another time. Hopefully next week.
And Alex, always doing a great job on the cameras. You've done a fair few of these broadcasts on the MX5, so it's probably some of the cleanest racing we've actually seen tonight. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think so. Some great racing out there. I mean, there always is some great racing. You know, there's just always the odd little incident. I think, you know, we had the one big crash, but that's quite typical of Interlagos, where the cars just sort of bounce back onto the circuit. You know, it's fairly unavoidable. So, yeah, I think one of the better meetings we've had towards the end of the season.
I certainly agree with you, and we hope that everyone at home has enjoyed it as well on the iRacing Esports Network. It is a pleasure to be broadcasting for you on there. We are thankful for that, and we hope to see you next week at Monza, where we're sure that it's going to be an insanely close race meeting, with qualifying being close because of the draft, and not to mention that the race as well, coming out of the Parabolica on the final time, is going to be much like tonight, where the final corner is going to be the main turning point of every single lap. So, from myself, Tom, and Alex, and everyone involved in tonight's meeting, we hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you next week. Thanks very much for your time.
The following is a presentation of the iRacing Esports Network.